Orange County, California has always been known as a place of extraordinary natural beauty. And for more than 100 years, Orange County Parks has been preserving and protecting its special places for all of us and for future generations to enjoy. Caspers Wilderness Park is one of them, and it invites you to find your place in nature. Caspers Wilderness Park is one of Orange County's largest parks, over 8,000 acres of protected wilderness in the western Santa Ana Mountains with over 35 miles of trails to explore. The park was named for Orange County Supervisor Ronald W. Caspers, who helped the county acquire the land in the 1970s. It was his dream to see this land preserved for future generations to love and enjoy as he did. When you enter the park, you'll get a trail map and information about conditions in the park. And it will be hard to imagine that you are just 8 miles from the busy freeway in San Juan Capistrano. Whether you are visiting for the day or camping for up to 2 weeks, you're sure to find your place here. The park is a favorite place for equestrians.
This is my first time at Caspers Park. I've grown up in Orange County. I grew up in riding on Ortega Highway in San Juan Capistrano all my life. Always knew this park was here. First time visiting it, having the time of my life. Off on our morning ride.
Mountain bikers have found their place here too.
Casper's great, it's peaceful. There are some challenging trails, and most importantly, you're just bonding with nature. You come on out here, you're with the birds, you're with the animals, you see deer. It's just a great, great place for a few hours to hang out. Strongly recommended.
Birds are everywhere in the park, making it a favorite place for birders to add to their life lists and make their contributions to the bird sighting board near the entry booth. Artists, photographers, and writers come to the park to be inspired and to capture the beauty and serenity that can only be found when we are surrounded by nature. And when we need a place for quiet contemplation, we are drawn here and find our spirits renewed. Naturalists of all ages come to the park to learn about the different ecosystems here and about the plants and animals found in Southern California and nowhere else in the world, like the spectacular Matilaha poppy. In the spring, you can see them in full bloom along the park's nature trail and appreciate why they were once called the Queen of the Flowers. Environmentalists appreciate the park's commitment to protecting the habitats needed for the very survival of so many native species, some on the edge of extinction. Cactus wrens can still be seen in the park, and each new birth is cause for celebration and hope for the future. People who value the wisdom of the natural world are drawn here, seeing patience in a spider who weaves a web and waits, seeing the spirit of community in the acorn woodpeckers who add to their granary, and seeing devotion in a pair of hawks who protect and nurture their chicks and then teach them to fly. A wilderness park is a perfect place for families. One of the most precious gifts we can give our children is a connection to nature and a love of the outdoors. It's a gift that will last a lifetime. The park is family-friendly and has plenty of room for parties and events that bring children outdoors.
My favorite thing to do at Caspers Park is meeting all of my friends again.
The park's Nature Center is a great place for a family visit and has something of interest for everyone. The Nature Center exhibits are open every weekend, and you'll meet volunteer naturalists there who look forward to sharing the things they love about the park. There are lots of things to explore and discover, and there are hands-on activities for all ages, making it the perfect place for young naturalists. And one Saturday morning each month, the Caspers Park Foundation sponsors a free educational program open to the public. If you're interested in history, be sure to see the mural painted by artist Diane Walling. Before becoming a wilderness park, the area was an active cattle ranch, and the windmill in the old corral remains just as it was when cattle grazed here. From the Nature Center's observation deck, you can see sandstone cliffs containing 45-million-year-old fossils, evidence of a time when all this land was underwater. And you can see Bell Creek and San Juan Creek, the two creeks that flow through the park in winter and spring. The Nature Center's bird feeding station lets you get a close look at many of the birds who make their homes here, like jays, doves, woodpeckers, and quail, our state bird. And of course, no feeder would be complete without squirrels, and in this case, it's one of our native ground squirrels. You can also see the famous swallows of Capistrano return each spring and watch them build their mud nests and raise the next generation. In the spring and summer, the Nature Center's wildflower gardens are in full bloom, attracting hummingbirds and butterflies. They might even inspire you to create your own butterfly and hummingbird garden using some of the beautiful native wildflowers you see here. Whatever brings you to the park, you are likely to have questions about some of the amazing things you see. The rangers are here to help, and they are happy to answer your questions. And every Saturday evening, the rangers invite all of us to the Nature Center to enjoy a campfire show. Children are always invited to join in the fun, and everyone has a chance to make new friends. Rangers also travel outside the park to make presentations to community groups as part of the park's outreach program. The park offers you the freedom to explore over 35 miles of trails. And to learn more about them, the rangers will take you on a guided hike of the nature trail on Sunday mornings. You will learn about some of the amazing things you can see here and how to be safe while you enjoy the wilderness. There are things to watch out for, like poison oak and ticks, and there are also poisonous snakes here. They hunt for their food in the cover of the grasses, so it's important to always stay on the trails. Mountain lions sometimes come to the park to hunt for deer. It's very unlikely you would see a lion, but you might see a footprint on the trail. And if you should see a lion, don't run. Gather together and make yourself as large as possible. Then make noise. To be safe and comfortable when you hike, take your fully charged cell phone, drinking water, food, first aid supplies, and your trail map. It's a good idea to wear a hat and sturdy shoes, and bring sunscreen and insect repellent and a whistle to use if there's an emergency. And for your children's safety, adults should always be first and last in your group. When you're on the trails, be courteous. If you're hiking, yield to horses. If you're on your bike, yield to both hikers and horses. And of course, leave nothing behind. Pack it in, pack it out. You'll have the most enjoyable time if you choose trails within your limits, and your trail map will be a big help in planning your adventure. You might want to start with a nature trail. It's an easy 1-mile loop beginning and ending in the old corral area, and it takes you through several ecosystems, including a southern oak woodland that is home to magnificent old oaks, some more than 300 years old. And if you look closely, you might see a bobcat taking a nap. If you want a moderate challenge, there's a 4-mile loop that starts on the Lost Corn Trail. The spring wildflowers are spectacular, and the beautiful Mariposa lilies grow along the trails. If you're interested in an all-day adventure, you could hike the entire length of the Oso Trail and return on the San Juan Creek Trail. It's a difficult 12.5-mile hike, but the views are breathtaking from the ridgetops. Another place you might enjoy seeing are the famous San Juan Hot Springs. You can see them on special scheduled tours conducted by the park's volunteer docents. The park's docents are part of an active group of volunteers who love nature and have found their place here. Volunteers who love being in the backcountry help by assisting park visitors. and special groups of volunteers help control the spread of non-native plants, and others help with trail maintenance. The Caspers Park Foundation volunteers do so much for the park, and they would love for you to join them as they work with the supervising park ranger on conservation and education projects, like Adventure Day. Every year, the park invites all of us to enjoy a day of family fun that celebrates nature and the park's colorful history. Lots of talented rangers will be there to share stories and songs and interesting things about nature. There are games and crafts for all ages, and there are great opportunities to learn more about the animals who live here and research projects in the park. You can learn about the Native Americans who were the first to live here, and even learn an Ahashiman song. And you can connect with community groups who love nature and the outdoors. Visit ocparks.com to learn about all the special events happening at the park and opportunities to volunteer. And plan to come back often. You're sure to find your place here in nature.